Hi, it's Rudy at Claude Painting Studio with the latest video. This is a little personal project of mine. I'm going to be putting together a warband for the Silver Bayonet. I've got some French figures from the Perry Miniatures range. This one comes from their dismounted cavalry pack, which is part of their Retreat from Moscow miniatures. I'm by no means the first person to use these for the Silver Bayonet, but they're perfect for a little skirmishy game, and the mix of uniforms and civilian clothes makes them a little bit different from your average Napoleonic figure. I've spray painted this guy with some Army Painter skeleton bone for the base coat. First step is a dry brush with some white. I'm using coat arms white, but any white will do. And this is going to help to pick out the raised surfaces. So when I use translucent paints later, it will add a bit of a highlight to them. And also, this is going to help quickly do any white areas on the model, like straps, and perhaps we'll leave the trousers in this colour as well. First up is the skin, and I have some Vallejo Xpress Dwarf skin. Just applying that neat to face and hands. One of the great things about this range from the Perrys, if you wanted to do non-fantastical Napoleonics, the Retreat from Moscow range has a bunch of figures who are in non-traditional uniforms. It's likely that people were wearing whatever they could get their hands on just to survive against the cold of the Russian winter. And therefore you can mix and match colours and uniforms from lots of different armies that were involved in the march: Poles, Saxons, French, of course, and some of the other minor nations. And you can have a bit of fun with the colours, which is not something you can often do if you want to do Napoleonics properly, in inverted commas. As I'm doing something slightly more fantastical for my Silver Bayonet figures, I'm just going to choose what I think looks good. So, a bit of dark blue, this is Express Omega Blue, and I've done his jacket. Going to leave the cords on the front a different colour. This is Express Plasma Red. And doing this for the bag on top of his nice furry hat. And also do the cords, trying to avoid the buttons. Well, those buttons will need a bit of tidying up, but that's fine. I've busted out the Express Black Lotus, and all the fur areas on the model, so both hat and cuffs around the bottom of his jacket, getting a coat of this, along with his boots, scabbard, a little cartridge box on the side here, and a base coat for the sword blade, which I'll be doing in metallics later. I tend to find metallics go better over a darker base. Continuing with the Express colour range, This is Space Grey, which I'll use for a bit of cloth wrapped around his neck, scarf. Said before, I think this colour is not a great grey. Far too blue in my opinion. This chap's been layering his clothes against the coals. So I imagine this is a piece of civilian shirt that's poking out from underneath his jacket. And this is Vallejo Templar white I'm using for this. This roll on his back, perhaps liberated from cavalryman, is being done with Express Lizard Green. Leaving that edging around the top to do in a different colour. Try to avoid the strap, leave that as a white. His pistol is getting a coat of Express Copper Brown. Again, doing the barrel, even though that'll be a metallic paint later. It'll look a bit better over the darker base coat. This is Imperial Yellow, and I'm using that for the facing colour that you can see on this ring round the blanket there. Doing his beard with some Express Wasteland Brown. Going to move outside the Vallejo range over to Citadel and our contrast paints. This is Skeleton Horde, but it's been thinned about 4:1 with the contrast medium, and it's going to weaken it significantly, so it's really only darkening the recesses around the trousers and some of the foot wrappings as well. Just feel like there needs to be a bit more contrast, as it were, between the light and the dark on the trousers to make them stand out equally with the express effect on the rest of the clothing. Got the acrylic metallic paints out now from RE Painter Plate Mail Metal. The sword and barrel of the pistol to do with this colour. Got a little bit of Vallejo gold, and I'm picking out the sword hilt on the scabbard where we've got the straps attaching, and round the tip. A couple of clasps on his belt. Pick out these buttons in some gold as well, and the clasp against the cartridge box. While the metallic's dry, I'm going to get the white that I used for the dry brushing earlier out again, and I'm highlighting these straps with this. Because our eye painter's strong tone, It's diluted in a 1-to-1 mix with quick shade mixing medium. I'm going to apply this over the metallics, but also areas like the wraps around the feet and the lower part of the trousers. And that just makes them look a bit muckier, where he's been dragging his feet through the mud. And here's a look at the finished model along with the rest of the members of the band. So I've used models from the Perry Retreat from Moscow dismounted cavalry, and on the right hand side we have models from the Camp Followers set, which provides some female models. I've got models that I can use in my warband as vivandière, a doctor and an occultist. In the centre there is a sapper that comes from the Perry Plastic French 1807-1814 box set command sprue. They've all been painted with the same process, and as well as the Xpress colours, I have used a couple of Citadel contrast colours, such as Basilicanum Grey. I hope everybody has enjoyed this video, and I think the Xpress colours offer a really straightforward way to bang out models with minimal expertise required. And I look forward to actually playing some solo games of the Silver Bayonet before too long. If you've got any comments, please pop them below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.